Recently, you guys know Fuji released a new tripod, wireless tripod for their cameras, and they also released a number of firmware updates so that you can be able to use that tripod with a number of the newer cameras. Now, I'm always looking for easier ways to provide my content and get that content and increase my video skills. Went ahead and picked it up. It is, as you can see right here on my XS10, what I believe is a great camera for this to be on. I have the XS10, as you can see, on a small rig cage. It does add a little weight, but this definitely seems to be holding it pretty well. As you guys know, when I do my unboxings type videos for lenses and cameras, I usually go out and use that. This one a little different because it's not a lens, it's not a camera, it's an accessory for, and I've not really done an accessory one until now because I think this warrants a review, at least an initial thought, my initial thoughts that is, on this and whether you may want to purchase this or not for use with your Fuji gear. So we'll start off with the build quality. As you guys see, I have it on here. The build quality, particularly the handle, feels awesome. This is, and I will say that about other Fujifilm accessories, specifically the adapter for in-mount lenses, very excellent build quality. This thing is tough. It feels like it could take a beating, which is awesome. The handle has the same texture on it that the grip for the XS10 has. I have the 18 to 55 kit lens on here. This has got a little weight to it, particularly with that cage that's on here. And this thing is holding it with no problem. I'm not seeing any wiggle or feel any looseness in it. When I open out the legs, it's a nice firm pull out. It sits and holds the camera nicely. There's your battery compartment back there. And that makes it easier to get to the batteries and use. So I really love the build quality. I love how sturdy and strong this feels. I love that, and when I press the toggle button here for the pivot, that it's got minute or micro movements and locks, so you can lock in a lot of different angles, and it holds it very well. I like that the tripod head is a screw-on that attaches very strongly to the camera. It has a rubber grip or a pad at the top to help with gripping the surface that it's attaching to so that you don't have twisting and moving, and that it has a knobby dial on it, just like the battery grips for, say, the XT5 or XT4, excuse me, and XH line. Very nice. Gives you a good purchase so you can actually be able to attach this strongly. I do like the little button right here that allows you to do 90-degree turns with the head to help with giving you different perspectives. So all in all, build quality is nice, buttons is nice. As I move further on, the buttons on the actual tripod body gives you the ability to record. Bluetooth wise, gives you the ability to do stills. If you have on the power zoom lens, which is what I'm filming on my XH2 with, it'll even operate that once it's connected with Bluetooth. Bluetooth setup was pretty straightforward and easy. Again, button placement is great, toggle's great. Everything has a nice, strong, firm, tactile feel. Again, good build quality. So initially, there's a lot of things for me to like about this tripod, but there's some things that I don't like or could have been better. One might be a nitpick, but we'll start off with, I don't like the price. This thing is $200, $199.99. I know this has Wi-Fi in it or Bluetooth in it, and that may help in adding. The build quality, again, is excellent. That might be another reason, but it seems a little higher than I expected it to be. Sony has a mini tripod as well, but it is not wireless, and it is half the price. It is wired. It has the same button layout. So if you're gonna compare the two, you're paying an extra $100 because of the Bluetooth capability. I thought or believe that it'd have been nice to have a wire so that in case the batteries die, you can still use the capabilities to control the camera via the buttons and so forth. That, to me, I think should have been an option. Whether you have a USB-C port somewhere here where you can plug it from here into the camera body, since most of the newer camera bodies use USB-C, that would have been awesome. Next thing, and it helped to me justify the price. All of these to me helps with justifying the price, because $100 for just Bluetooth seems to be a lot. The button layout, although as great as it is, there's a button missing here. I like the lock button. I like that you can lock this out and features won't get hit. You can keep the Bluetooth on, ready to go. I have a one of the buttons on here, my AEL button set for Bluetooth to toggle back and forth so that I can use with this when I want and turn it off so it doesn't drain the battery, right? Because it will. You can use that lock button to do the same so you don't do stuff if you just want to use this as just a mini tripod. I think it should have had a menu button on it. And the reason I say that is because if you intend to use this with a camera with a flip out screen and you're vlogging and this is turned to you and you want to do any setting changes, you're gonna turn this camera back around, press the menu button, do your things, turn it back around, recompose, make sure everything's good depending on what you do. I think if we would have had a menu button on here and this toggle button be the same type of toggle button functionality that's on the cameras, definitely something that I would have paid $200 for, because that's a feature set that I believe that you can use now that you have Bluetooth connectivity between the camera and the accessory. So that's a big one for me. I think that they could have done that and justified even a little more than $200. I would do nothing but recommend this because of that. But having that menu button and then more functions built into an actual toggle that will do more than just a up and down for, you know, zooming in and zooming out, I think that's a miss. Maybe on the next version, they're hearing me, Fuji, if you hear me, you can do that. That would be awesome. The last thing on here, so I don't go too long on this video going over my initial thoughts on this tripod, is and this might be a nitpick, but it's the tripod head. And I say nitpick because I use cages or L brackets on a lot of my cameras, period, whether it be a Fuji or before I was shooting Fuji. And even though this is a very well built screw in connection, I think if it would have had the ability to have, I don't know, Arca Swiss, that'd be awesome. I know it would have probably meant a wider tripod head, but if you look at this right here, I'll get real close and let's see if it zooms. It's sticking out, and that's because of the placement of the tripod mount that's on the camera. Right now, if I had this L bracket, or I should say mini small rig, off, it'd be more centered, which is great. But I think if I would have had the ability to put, or this be a Arca Swiss as an option, I think that would have been even nicer, the lighter, if you will. Again, that's super nitpicking. As it is now, even though it's not flush under, it is holding this thing nicely. And there are other screws on here to help me move this down to give it more purchase. But for what I have, again, that goes back to the build quality. Fantastic. So there you go. Subscribe, comment, like, do all those wonderful things for me. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Get out and shoot.